Okay, I'm back. So as you can see, I decided to use one as a horizontal pocket, and the other one I actually made a vertical pocket on one of the pages. Now the nice thing about this is no matter what, you can make any size pocket that you wanted. You simply need to add a 1/2 inch, or sorry, 5/8 of an inch on the bottom and 5/8 of an inch on the two sides to make the pockets, no matter what way you want it. So if you wanted to put a pocket over here, this is a 4x4. It's pretty simple. If this was 6 inches and you wanted to put a vertical pocket over here, you would make it 6 inches. You would add 5/8 for the top, 5/8 for the bottom, and then depending on your width, so say like you wanted it 3, you would add another 5/8. It's all math, so it isn't too bad. So there we go. We got 2 pockets on that page, and I put 2 pockets on this page. The other thing that I like to do before I do this is I always like to make some flip outs too. So for a flip out, I decided that I wanted them shorter than the page. I wanted them a little bit shorter. So I made it so that this was going to be 3 inches wide by 4 inches tall. So as tall as the book, but less wide. So then again, I added 5/8 because I'm going to put this into the pocket that we made. And I'm going to do that. So for these, again, you miter the corners. And again, I like some kind of texture on them. So I will use my paper punch and punch some flowers on it. Okay, and there we go. So now for these, I put glue on this edge and I will slip it into here and let it dry. I will do that and I'll be right back to show you. And I should have mentioned when you're doing this, you want a decent amount of glue, but when you put it in there, you don't want to put it all the way up to the score line. You just want to put it just right too so that it actually closes. And then you always want to make sure that you don't have glue on the inside so that it doesn't get stuck. So there is one of the flaps installed. So you can see how easy that is. Okay, so now we have our 5 pages and you can see we have our flip outs, we have our little details. So now we are going to go on and move on to the actual spine. So you're going to need your spine, which is 4.5 by 2.5. Remember, this was the extra piece. There was 2 pieces of this size. The one piece we put in the actual cover, the other one we left out, so that it's going to kind of fit in there. Then you're going to need some spine cover paper. The spine cover paper is your spine size plus then an extra inch. So it gives an extra 1/2 inch on each side. And then remember how I was showing you that we wanted to do our spine, we wanted to have 1/2 inch page in between each page. So I made this little guide. It has a 1/2 inch between each page. There's the 1/4 inch gussets we talked about. Then I figured out the holes. Now, the pages are only 4 inches and this was 4.5. So you can see that I took a 1/4 inch off each side and then I started the next whole 1/4 inch in and then I measured in the middle. So there is going to be 3 holes per page. So one is a 1/4 inch in from the actual page size. See, so 1/4 inch from each side of the page, and then one's going to be right in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue this paper down to this spine like this. To do that, I usually again use Suquing because I really want it tight. So let me get this all taped up and I will be right back with you. So there we go, we got it all taped up. I'm going to make sure that tape is really stuck on there. And now I'm going to pull off the tape. And what I'm going to do is I am going to, again, this was an inch bigger, so I am going to measure a 1/2 inch in and put just a little mark so that I can get this centered so that it looks nice. And I'm going to put the spine on spine cover piece, simply like so. So now the spine is on the spine cover piece. Now I'm going to get my piercer mat. And I'm going to lay down this spine piece that I made. Again, that was the measurements. And I am going to simply poke holes in all of these spots. There you can see all our holes now. I'm going to set aside that. Now the next part is that we got to get all of our pages. And I like to line them up in one big row. And I have another sheet of paper that I did the 3 holes on. Or you can use one of these. And you will again need to measure a 1/4 inch. Because remember, this is 4.5 inches, so we measure a 1/4 inch top and bottom. The other reason that I like this ruler is that you can just use it. So there's our, and you can stack these all up, or you can do them individually. That's all up to you. That's all what you're comfortable with. So you're going to just simply line up the guide, make sure that it's in the center. You're going to get this, and you're going to poke the holes right down in, just like that, so you can see the holes are in. So now I'm going to do the rest of these pages, and I will be right back with you. So now we have our spine with all our holes, and we have all of our pieces of paper with all our holes. Now you have to decide what you want to, color you want to bind it with. Now, I like to use, this is just a needles that I got from Walmart, and I like to use number 4, which is the carpet needle. I just like to use it because it has a bigger head on it, but the needle isn't very long or wide. And I like to use embroidery floss. So again, this is just embroidery floss that I got from Hobby Lobby. And what you're going to need to do is, I decided to pick green because I wanted something that was kind of fun that matched these colors. You are going to need embroidery floss. That is, you need 2 times for each page. So this is 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages. Oops, let me try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I usually do at least 1 extra, and that gives me enough for tying knots. And you'll see in a second what I mean by that. So we'll cut that off, and I'll set the rest of this aside. And I will thread this. Now, here's the deal. This is going to be the inside of your spine. So that's what's going to go, and you're going to see inside here. You could have covered this with pretty paper or something else if you wanted to make it look pretty. I just decided to go with the flat blue because that was what everything else was. So that's just so you know. So this is going to be your front side. So I want all of my knots and stuff to be on the back. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start on the back, come through to the front side, and I am going to put in this top page. Now, and then I'm going to come down and I'll put this back through the middle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this all the way through. Now, what I said before is that you want enough string for knots. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to tie a knot here. And why I do it this way is that if the knot comes loose, or the knot can't pull through the backing this way. So you see, it can't pull through the backing. Now we'll make this tighter here in a sec, but actually, you know what? I'm going to redo that. I don't like it. It's too loose for me. So let's try this again. I'm going to start in the middle this time because that's where I usually start. I usually put this in the middle, pull it out, and we're going to hold it. Then we're going to put this in, pull it out. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go all the way up and over. And again, make sure that you don't lose this end. Then you're going to pull it out, and then you're going to come right back in the middle. Now, when you come back into the middle, make sure that you go to the opposite side of the big part. Just like that. Now here we go. Now we're going to make sure this is all nice and tight. And we're going to use these two sides to make the knot. Just like that. This is the method I usually use. I was going to try something new, but you know what? Why am I going to change something on a YouTube video when I have already mastered this? So there you go. Now I'm going to do one more page just so you can see what happens here. Now, again, what I had decided was that the sides that were folded were going to be my tops. So I'm going to make sure that I know which side my top is and versus my bottom. And we're also going to make sure that the pockets were the correct way. So we're going to go through the middle, up, through into the top, you go all the way down to the bottom, and then through the middle, and I try to go on the opposite side and not go through it. One on the opposite side. And then we'll pull it all nice and tight. And we will knot it. And I'm going to go do the other 3 pages and I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. Now we are all done with 5. I'm just going to cut off this little piece and set that aside. Okay, so now we have all of our pages attached to our thing. Now, one of the things that I wanted to mention is this spine is kind of a la Genevieve Designs, maybe Nick the Booksmith, maybe I'm a Cool Mom. They all use something kind of similar, so I just wanted to make a shout out to them. So now we're going to get our cover. Now what you want to do is you want to use your finger and you're going to kind of try to find where the front and the back cover are. And you're going to start slowly working this up and down so that you know where that cover is. You're going to do the same thing over here. Find it with your finger, kind of run your finger in it, and then start to slowly use your tool, pull the cover up. And you want to do it kind of slowly because you don't want to crack anything. But there you go. There's that part. Now, with this, again, I like to use a little bit of both here. I am going to put Sukwang right here on these flaps. And then I'm going to use glue on the back of that. So I am going to first take off the backing here. Now, one of the things that I would like to mention when you go to put this on, one of the things you got to think about is that when the book, if you want the book to lay flat, you need to apply this when the cover is laying flat, because that's when the cover has the most tension. When you pull it this way, it will bend. So just make sure you note that. So now, you're going to get your glue, and you're going to use all kinds of glue right here. Now make sure that you get this pretty good, because remember, this is what is holding on your book. I always like to run my finger over it just to make sure that I've got all the strings covered real well. And now, what I usually do is I kind of try to line this up, and you can see that this should fit right in there, just like that. And it's kind of hard, it's kind of tricky because you only get really one shot at it. That's it. And then kind of open up the pages and make sure that it's on there well. I also like to run my finger down in between the pages. Sometimes glue seeps out, that's okay. And there you go. There is your little album with its spine on there. Now I'm going to let this dry for a little bit, and I will be back to show you. And here we go. There is our little 4.5 by 4.5, where the pages are 4 by 4 mini album made out of 8 by 8 sheets of paper. You can see how simple this was. So I will decorate this up, and hopefully I will have a walkthrough of it tomorrow. Again, my name is Kara, and this is the Transformation of Mom for ABCDE, and I hope you really enjoyed this project because I enjoyed showing you. I hope you guys have a great day.